Great stuff. So now we have all the main components of our coat completed. We have the two fronts, we have two sleeves, and we have the back. So let's join all those together. Now, you remember in doing the sleeves that we have the stitching, the edge stitching is going to be towards the back. So I have laid out my two front pieces here, facing each other. I'm looking at my sleeve and I'm taking the unstitched side and I'm going to lay that along the shoulder seam here, edge to edge, and pin that, and do the same on the other side. So the unstitched side is going to the front edge here, and that's going to be machined in place. So your 1/4 inch seam again, start and end securely, and the same with the second piece. Press the seam allowances now towards the sleeve. Press them towards the sleeve and continue with your little bit of edge stitching on those. Give them a little press, it just helps them to lie flat. And the edge stitching is into the seam allowance, so it's on the sleeve side. One sleeve in place, and here's the second one. And remember, it's the sleeve side that you're doing the edge stitching on. You're catching in all of the seam allowances. Into those. Take your back piece and do exactly the same. So you're going to match the shoulder seam on one side and the shoulder seam on the other side, and you'll know you're right because the seam allowances are going from the sleeve are going to lie towards the back piece. And again, a 1/4 inch seam, I'm sure you're noticing now that this is starting to come together very quickly. And the only tricky bit we will have is putting in the collar. The same with these seam allowances too. Press them towards press the seam allowances towards the sleeve and edge stitch those. So now this is what your coat, you have all the main components now in your coat, and it's starting to come together and look like a little coat. So we get that much done, and then we're on the, as they say, nearly on the home stretch.